All right, what's going on, everybody? It is Triple Crown 24 back. I'm going to use Mike's setup here without his permission, but that's all right. For my day one recap of the 2022 National Sports Cards Collectors Convention in Atlantic City, New Jersey. So this was quite the day. Dealers were allowed to enter the convention center at 8 a.m. The crew here at the Airbnb probably got there around 8:30, 8:45, and I stayed the entire time. It was the 5-minute warning when I actually left the building, so it was an action-packed day. To give you a brief recap of what the show floor looked like, again, very similar to what I was talking about in that preview video that I did for the podcast, and very similar to what I talked about in the day zero recap. I'm hoping that dealers will be a little bit more flexible today when I release this video for day two, but we'll see. Overall though, I was pretty pleased with how things went down, so let me go ahead and show off what I got. Let's start off with this will get a few laughs, I'm sure. I have my little value box adventure. This whole stack was 20 bucks, and the laughing will begin after the next card, but I did find this one in there. It's a First Bowman Taylor Ward purple to 250. I just said, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and grab this, and when I saw this card, it encouraged me to go deeper in the boxes. There were some solid cards in there, nothing that I really felt like I needed to grab. But then I went over to the Tigers section, and there were a ton of autographs. So these will go into my Tigers autograph collection. What's really nice about these is that I don't have to pay the shipping individually each time. And on some of these names in here, you know, I've tried to get them for as cheap as possible because I don't really want to break the bank getting these in my collection. Especially because there's so many guys who are kind of, you know, just remember this guy types. So tried to, you know, mitigate my costs where I can. But Juan Encarnacion, who, you know, he had a solid career from a Signature Series. Little Gabe Kapler here, my Giants fans out there will like that one. Adam Pettyjohn, this is one of those I'm talking about here. Not too many people even would listen to Adam Pettyjohn on eBay, so it's cool to find one. And one of my favorites, Joel Zamaya. So many stories about this guy. I actually already have a Zamaya autograph, but I love this turkey red refractor here. So I decided that I was gonna quote unquote upgrade my current one. So those were for the collection. Let's show off the inventory now. Some of the things that I picked up were already moved. In fact, I moved some of my really big cards, including my Nolan Ryan 101 autograph and my Joe Burrow tie-dye. Arguably two of the biggest cards that I had with me, but I'm pretty pleased with what is back. So this was the last deal of the day. I actually made it over by the TriStar Pavilion, and it was a trade, partial cash, partial trade that I made with a friend of mine, Logan. We met at the Eastgate show that I talk about in a lot of my recap videos. You probably, if you're familiar with Ryan Card Collector too, then you'll probably know who Logan is as well. But fantastic dude, always a pleasure to do business with him, always a pleasure to just chat about the hobbies. So we sat down and we talked about the Burrow that I had and came to a deal that I felt worked out for both of us pretty well. You know, I think we're both going to be comfortable with what we got the cards for. So that's the best kind of trade. I've said it once and I'll say it again, that the best trades are always the ones where both parties feel like they got what they needed out of it. So in addition to the cash, I was able to get this card right here. This is an Acuna 2018 National Treasures Timeline autograph. You could say it's an RPA since it is 2018 here on the back. Player worn material, that's to be expected on a rookie year auto, but numbered to 99. These are deceptively expensive. If you go look these up right now, you'll probably be like, wow, really? That's that much? So I'm not fully confident in getting that full amount for them, but or for this one in particular, but you know, it's I was able to put myself in a position, thankfully, through the trade where I don't necessarily need to get to that point. If I did, it would be fantastic, but I'll take what I can get and move along. So just figured I'd go ahead and grab that one. And then I was actually eyeballing this card. They had it in the case at the Nashville show a couple weeks back. And I don't know, for whatever reason, maybe it was just that I was not really looking to spend too much at the time, or I didn't want to negotiate down off the sticker price, or I don't really even know why I didn't go for it. But I said, you know what, if it's still there next time I see these guys, I'm gonna go after this. And thankfully I was able to get it today, or yesterday I should say. This is the Flawless, this is the Ruby Parallel of Mahomes. Sweet color match, as the kids would say, on the red there. Just really pops. That's why I was interested in it. From 2021 Flawless. I do love these diamond cards. Say what you will about them. You can say they're gimmicky. You can say that you don't like them, but I'm personally a fan. So those two cards plus cash for the Burrow. That was a deal that worked out well for both parties. So I'm happy with that. All right, next up, this was, the next two are actually both trades, and up first here is this 2004 Playoff Prime Cuts MLB Icons Material Signature Prime of Bo Jackson. So typically when they say Prime, it means that there's a patch. You can see here that it's not really the case with this one. It's more so just a one color swatched there from his jersey. But Bono's Bo Jackson, this is numbered out of 50. These types of cards you just don't see pop up all that often. Just from my experiences as a super collector with Miggy for so many years, it's just one of those things where, you know, these early 2000s autographs or mid 2000s, a lot of them have been put into the black hole, so to speak, where they're in a collection of a very devoted collector where they won't see the light of day again for the rest of their life. Or you have it where it's just someone who doesn't sell cards, or potentially still in boxes. You know, somewhere those boxes are sealed and they're in there. So it's one of those things where you're kind of at the mercy of whoever has them to, you know, hopefully you get it for a reasonable price. But this was another partial cash, partial trade, and I was able to get it with a 2020 Finest Flashbacks Gold Refractor Bryce Harper in a CSG 10 holder for my friend Ed Wesker Griff. So I got that card as part of the deal as well. And then I gave Ed the Harper, you know, I basically sold it to him. I asked him ahead of time, what's the price that you want to pay on this card? And I will, you know, I could try to get it for you. So he walked away. I talked with this dealer for probably 15 minutes. We had a good back and forth. He was a very nice gentleman to work with, and ended up getting both cards. So I ended up getting a cool card for Ed. I got this for, you know, some new inventory. So worked out well on all sides, and the dealer got what he needed as well. So that was all that we could hope for on that front. This one is really sweet. I love this card here. This was another partial cash, partial trade. So one of the cards that you will not see in this video is the 2012 5-star Silver Signings Ken Griffey Jr. auto that I had picked up earlier in the day of the show. I got it for $150, which was, in my opinion, an absolute steal. And immediately when I started going around to other dealers and they started to ask me about buying, selling, and trading, you know, asking to see the stuff that was in my little carrying case, they told me that they were interested in that Griffey, or I had immediate interest in it. So that was actually the case for a lot of the stuff that I had picked up. So that's a good sign that maybe I'm picking up stuff that other people are interested in too, I guess, with the dealers all kind of jumping on it. But this is the 2011 Topps Update Bryce Harper Diamond Anniversary little Happy 60th Topps autograph insert set. Weird thing about this set is that, again, 2011 Update Bryce Harper hadn't had his rookie put in tops yet. His rookie's in 2012, so he's inserted into this as technically a prospect, and you're not supposed to be able to put prospect cards into Topps flagship products, or at least that was the rule. They have bent it to some degree. There is the 2020 Topps update prospect insert set, and then of course you have the controversy around 2021 Bowman's Best. But with this Harper here, this is one of those ones that I just thought, wow, you don't really see these too often. These are extremely difficult to hit out of flagship. It is numbered to 60, so maybe that makes it seem a bit more deceptive, but 2011 update, not many people are opening it considering how expensive it is, and you probably get, if you got one of these in a case, you would be lucky. They did these throughout the entire 2011 releases, so it's a continuity insert set across Series 1, Series 2 update. But Harper's an update here. It's signed. It's not his greatest autograph. It's actually pretty decent for one of his early ones. He actually gave a little bit more on the Harper there. Typically, he didn't do that back then. But this was another one where I was able to trade two cards. I traded away my George Brett rookie. I'd add a little bit of cash, but not too much to get this one done. So I was able to just trade up into something that I really liked. And it's a little sad to see the Griffey go, but it was basically coming down to either including that and a little bit more cash, or including my Stan Musial 49 Bowman that I picked up yesterday, and I would probably rather have the Stan Musial, so I was thankfully able to hang on to that. So as much as I'll miss the Griffey, I'm glad that I got that one. Alright, finally, last but not least, this was the one that I went back for immediately on day one, and saw it on day 0, made a mental note because I thought it was cheap, looked into it a bit more, and I thought, you know what, I think I have to go for it. I know the news yesterday about Trout probably would scare a lot of people off from this card. It didn't really seem to affect prices too much, I will say that. A lot of the Trout stuff was still pretty pricey. But this is the 2013 Topps Chrome Atomic Refractor, and these are numbered to 10. This is a PSA 9, and I've looked it over several times. There's like a little tiny issue up here with this corner. It's one of those that I think could it get a gem? I do think so. It would really just depend on a spin of the wheel, to quote our friend One Elite Co. 3. What's deceptive about these atomics is that a lot of times the cracked ice will make it look like that there's a ding or a some kind of imperfection. Like, look at that bottom right corner there. You can see it kind of looks like that there's some peeling going on with the corner, but it's just the it's deceptive because it's the cracked ice look. It just makes it look like there's little fragments of the card, and if you catch it on the right corner, you can kind of see it up there in the top one as well. It will make it look like there's damage when there really isn't any. So it's one of those that you have to kind of take a look at underneath the loop. But most people, when they see this, they think it's cool. They don't really check the back to see that it's numbered 10. That was kind of the most common thing that I saw. There are some dealers who kind of like paused and looked at it. They're like, I wonder what this is number 2, and then they see it's at a 10. They're like, oh wow. So that's it's one of those that's kind of sneaky. They only did these for a couple of years. I think it was 2012 to 2014 where they were numbered to 10. In 2011 they were out of 225 or something. So now of course with Sapphire they don't really need to have a cracked ice parallel or atomic, whatever you want to call it. But this was at a price that I thought was very reasonable. This same card actually sold not all that long ago, and if it was this person, if I had bought it from the person who purchased this card, that means they took a loss on it. Not by that much, but I don't know if that was the case, it was just one of those kind of abandoned ship type of moments because of his injury. For me, that won't really deter me from buying Trout stuff. I think for the most part his legacy is cemented. If he retired today, I think it might hurt prices a bit, but in the long run I don't think that Trout will be affected too much. He's more so, I think his name has superseded his play at this point in the hobby, where trout will just be the defining name of this generation. I don't really see that changing, so I was quite pleased to add that in. All right, it's time to get ready for day 2. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to talk to you guys soon. I need to reply to some comments here when I get a few moments. But take care, everybody. Stay safe. Be kind.